Hi everybody, my name is Josepha from ClimateChoice and I'm super happy to share with you today some insights from key industry leaders in the field of Scope 3 decarbonization. How can Scope 3 action actually evolve from being a burden to being a competitive advantage?
What we see with most companies is like, yes, everyone is overwhelmed, but you can share the burden to really build a network around it. And the moment you start to collaborate in your company, but then also externally with all your suppliers, it's like everyone does their part to reduce emission. And then it really becomes a chain of collaboration that really increases value for everyone in it and also a business case. To drive successful collaboration along the supply chain, it really needs both sides. So A, benefits, but B, also penalties. So more and more companies start to use the data not just for reporting, but to have a clear understanding where their business partners stand and their suppliers, and then really show like that is a target we want to go towards. Are you on board with that? How can we accelerate you? How can we support you? But also, if you are not part of it, tell us and we might have to stop the relationship. So it really becomes a clear market need now that each and every part or company is taking their part to be on that journey. And it's okay to just start because everyone does and to need support. But then you also need to show that you are behind it and show that emissions are actually going down. Thank you. I think really the challenge is like a pyramid. It really starts with the transparency and the data. And yes, we come more and more towards it, but it's also the forerunners of the industry that have done their homework and they might have their own data systems already to be really good on that. It's still for the majority of the companies, I would say, one of the biggest challenges. And working on standardization of that data and sharing it securely is one of the big parts. But then really the decision making behind it is the most important thing. So the data is just as valuable as you use it. It's not there to be locked in Excel files and never to be seen again, but it needs to go into all of the different systems. So procurement system, for example, to make then really smart decisions with whom you want to work with, whom you can maybe award to be your best suppliers, to increase even the products you buy from them and co-develop maybe new products together that have lower emissions.
Not many companies have very structured procurement data management, right? This is something digitalizing procurement processes is a whole topic in itself, right? And now we're talking about like very specific data that is, only being generated, that's only being standardized across the world, that's only, people only start to share it, right? And start to have questions around it. And it's just a very big challenge to manage this information and then this data points in the companies because it might come from different sources, right? So the data needs to also be brought together. So what we know from business intelligence, right, now comes to supply chain intelligence and like really making much more decisions, like Lara said, right, out of it. And how can we utilize this information? Which also then brings the challenge of translating the data between departments. Not everybody is a carbon accountant in the company, right? Like how do you translate the data for the procurement department to be actually usable?